Hello everyone and welcome to So Many Games for Little Time. My name is Joachim and I'm here with Evangelos. And as usual we talk about board games and we are still here at CMON EXPO in Bangkok 2023. Day 2 has just about finished. It's 8:10 so I'm sure it's closed now. Yeah. So it's been a long day. As usual we are very tired. And we did a bunch of stuff. So this morning we didn't have to queue a long time for the store because that was no longer necessary. We just did the podcast you maybe listened to already, and then we went inside and what's the first thing we did?
Yeah, so what did you buy?
Well, the first thing we did was walk around the store some more. And then I saw Get On Board and I talked to you about I really want to try this. And then that's exactly what we did, right? That's the first game that we tried, Get On Board. I know you were skeptical because you were like, what is this?
Yeah.
It's a roll and write, which turns out to be a flip and write because I said it was a roll and write. I was unsure.
Yes.
But what did you think about it?
I actually really enjoy it. I thought it was very, very clever.
Yeah.
And the fact that we played it wrong.
Yes.
But the fact that the rule that we played got wrong actually makes the game much better, which is you have to follow the route.
Yeah.
You can't backtrack.
So basically the one that we played is the second one, which I think was Paris and Rome, I think.
That's right.
And basically this time it's trains, not a bus. And you have to start from an MTR station, a metro station, and then you have to go into one straight line. And the way we played it is you could go in any direction multiple times.
So we're mid-maxing, right?
Yes.
Everything was so much easier.
Because the lady was like, wow, you guys are scoring like crazy. But it's cool. They have a lot of things you have to keep in mind when you're going alongside your route.
But see, that's what you want. You don't want to be able to mid-max, right? You want those difficult decisions. Do I go for this move to give me more points, or do I go for my objectives? You have to give up on something to be able to do something else.
Yeah,
it's so much more fun that way.
A difference with the first Get On Board is that in that one you're trying to avoid each other, but here it's to your benefit to kind of cross each other's paths, because then there's an extra track that will actually give you more points when you do that. And also the fact, what I think is cool is the flip and ride. So you flip tickets.
Yes.
But once that flip it, you've got 12 tickets. But once your ticket has been flipped, that specific one, it's crossed out. It's not coming back. So you got 12 rounds and then it ends.
Yeah.
And every ticket has like some pieces underneath of it that you can then place in a certain shape.
Basically, the shape's twice again, because there's two tickets that share the same space, same shape.
And we have different shapes combined with different tickets depending on which sheet you have.
Yes, and there was multiple in that sheet pack.
Yes, yeah. This is what I really love, because I have several. I think it's become a thing now in roll and rides and flip and rides that when you do have like a whole deck of sheets or a whole block, that you have multiple different ones now to increase the replayability and so on, the challenge.
It was a cool game.
So
you didn't go for the first one though, the bus one.
I didn't buy the bus one because it doesn't have an official solo variant. The second one does have it, so that's why I went for that one. And then depending on how much I continue to like it, maybe I'll get the first one. But solo is always a big factor in anything that I buy because of my 3 kids. It just increases the chance of it getting played. I might be able to introduce this to students and everything down the line, but I have enough games for my students already. I'm not going to buy games just for that. So we stayed with, because it's yellow, by the way, Get On Board, and we stayed with yellow because the next one we played was Ancient Knowledge. Yeah, because you were.
I was interested. Yes.
Yeah. So how do you feel about it?
I actually liked it. I like the whole point of the cards, the different layers. To keep the card as long as you can to get the powers, but then you have to be able to score them. You need to move on. I think it's a lot more complicated. We didn't have enough time. We were rushing it because we wanted to see the.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So I would like to give it another go. Yeah.
We basically got the explanation, but we were waiting for the next thing we're going to talk about, which is the announcement.
So our heart wasn't really in it when we played it.
We're constantly looking at the phone. Okay, we still have 7 minutes. Okay, we still have 5 minutes. And then,
I can see it as a good game. And you go to love it when a card game has individual cards with individual art piece.
And afterwards, we actually checked our phone to see reviews or scores,
very
right?
Positive.
And they seem to be very positive.
Last time we gave like 8 and 9s.
Yeah, but no solo mode.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think it's minimum 3, wasn't it? Two minimum 2.
Minimum 2, yeah. But it does look cool and interesting, and also all the art that's there. Yeah. The Ancient Knowledge was okay. We didn't really get to play it, but it seems interesting for sure. And then was the biggest thing that we were looking forward to.
Which wasn't as big as we hoped it would be.
Yeah, the CMON announcing all their Kickstarters.
But then they said there are some that they cannot announce because of licensing issues. So they're still going to release. They didn't state everything they do.
Yeah, I compare it to a music band that says, "Hey guys, we're going to tell you all the games we're going to play next year, except as all the music we're going to play release next year, but we're only going to show you 2 songs, and then just talk about songs we already know about." So. The same thing with the games. It's a really bad analogy. I'm sorry, metaphor, but it's.
It was a bit of a damn squid.
Yes. Yeah.
Like, even the one that would probably been the biggest announcement, they just had one. Okay, the God of War one. They announced God of War, which they've been talking about for a long time. In fact, I think that actually he didn't say it. I think they announced God of War in their yearly summary sheet, which they do because they are a publicly traded company, and in that sheet they mentioned they were doing God of War, so it wasn't really an exclusive for today.
Yeah, and then all they showed was just one picture.
Two miniatures, basically.
Some miniatures, yeah. That's
so
it.
we don't even know what type of game it is.
Yeah.
Is it going to be a skirmish, dungeon crawl? No, we don't know nothing.
I think they also kind of bank a little bit on the fact that many people might not know about the sheet or might not check CMON religiously. So it still comes over of like, wow. Because people did react around us like, wow, you know, but even though it's actually already known.
I knew about it.
Yes, I didn't, but then again, I don't really care about God of War.
But then again, I knew it was going to happen, but again, I don't know what type of game it is, and they didn't tell us.
Yeah.
Again, the big one they made was the first one, which I actually had a video for, only one video, disappointingly.
Yeah.
And that was for the Song of Ice and Fire skirmish game.
Yeah. So basically,
tactics.
The video was very dramatic. Well, first without sound and then with sound. It was very dramatic, but it didn't really show much. It just described what it's going to be a little bit, but that's it. No.
I did notice one thing because I am. They showed the box. They said 2 things for the game. They showed the box with some miniatures, and the box was called the Battle of the Trident, which is from the Civil War that happens in the books before the books happen, where Robert Baratheon kills the Targaryen. But then they also showed a dragon, which I made a big thing about.
Yeah, Drogo.
Drogo. And I know Drogo was dead for hundreds of years before the Battle of the Trident.
Yeah.
So I went to Tiago and asked him, does this mean it's scenario based? And he says, I can't tell you.
So that basically means yes.
It looks like it's going to be a skirmish game, but scenario based. I don't know how they're planning to do it, but the dragon, unless they're changing time frames.
Yeah.
But Battle of the Trident is different to the dragon, right? Drogo.
Yeah.
So that means I can see how Battle of the Trident works. You fight in this battle. One person is Robert, the other one is Targaryen, and then you fight each other.
Yeah.
But besides that, after that, I don't know.
Because they put Drogon on the stage, but then before they did that, it was out in the open, outside of the hall. And then they actually put miniatures on top of it to show when you play, this actually plays a role.
So I'm assuming it might be one of the Civil Wars, like the Dance of Dragons or the Conquest. Okay, I'm getting a little geeky here. So maybe what happens with the dragon, your two characters fighting around the dragon.
Well, there were 2 characters on there, yeah.
Yeah, but they weren't the one for
the game. I know.
So it looks like that's just a scenario. That's just basically just a fancy player board.
Yeah. Okay.
Like Cthulhu, the Cthulhu one was.
Yeah, so Cthulhu, they also announced Cthulhu Dark Providence.
Which is a retheming of Martin Wallace's game, Scarlet Emerald, Study in Emerald.
Yes.
Which was a Cthulhu game set in Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah.
I've actually got the game. Mm-hmm. I don't have the original. I have the second edition. And it's very interesting because some people are cultists and some people aren't. And it's a very interesting game. So they basically took this Cthulhu game and they put it into their Cthulhu universe. Because they have different Cthulhu universes, right?
Yeah.
Like Fantasy Flight has their Cthulhu universe and this is a different Cthulhu universe.
Yeah.
So they're redoing the game. They said they streamlined it. They didn't say whether Martin Wallace is involved. But that's the game. And the big announcement was,
Yeah, because you said this is how they pull you in.
yes, they're going to have miniatures based on the characters from Dark Providence, which you can use in Cthulhu Death Metal.
Yeah.
So that is cool.
For completionists.
Oh, and it's not a Kickstarter, it's a pre-order.
Yeah.
The same way Metal Gear Solid was.
So it's basically for completionists. They're gonna want to have all the Death May Die stuff. And...
Well, our friend went and bought the comics today to get the Death May Die miniatures. For some reason, yeah.
Okay, all right. Another thing they talked about was D-Genesis, Clan Wars.
So it's based on a graphic novel, right?
Yes.
Oh, no. That's
It's a series.
No, it's an RPG series.
RPG series, yeah.
So a very popular RPG in Europe. Now they turned it into a game.
Yeah.
They said it was some sort of fighting game, but they did say it was semi-co-op.
Yeah.
Who knows what
Yeah,
that
it's
means.
like, yeah. So, yeah, they didn't say too much about that either. It was just
Nothing
like
at
one
all.
picture, just a box.
Just a box.
Yeah.
It's
Then there was some zombie-side stuff.
Yes.
Basically,
It's
Paris.
Yeah, it's a third in the series. It's a fourth in the series.
Yeah.
They have one set in Rio de Janeiro called. There was one set in Washington, and there's another one set in Fort Hendricks, America. So basically, it's a scenario-based, mission-based zombie-side game.
Yeah.
You play across a couple six missions. You get items, you do things, and you play on. It's kind of fun to have.
Yeah. So, and it's a one-off, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Then we also have the Dead Keep, which is
which again is based. That might be based on the graphic novel.
Yeah.
All I know, I don't know nothing about it. They say it's a fantasy horror.
Yes.
But the picture was very.
The art looks very cool, and it had like a dog on it, and the guy presenting made a joke about the dog, but whatever.
But also had a lot of like these weird elves and these orcs and things.
But apparently,
that's a dungeon crawler.
And he mentioned that people have been waiting for this or something. Finally, a game with his art and story behind it, and so on.
But they did say it was a dungeon crawler.
Yeah.
So yeah.
They also had a couple of RPGs, but they were not really into that. So if you want to know that, that's in the video. That's online. They also mentioned that, I guess they're sick and tired of people asking them about it. But they mentioned that some projects they can't do because they don't have the IP. They didn't manage to get it for some reason or whatever.
Yes.
And that is Dragon Ball Z. So there won't be any CMON Dragon Ball Z, and there also won't be any Last of Us from CMON because either other companies have it or they were not able to get it.
It was really there was a really Last of Us game by Themeborn.
Yeah.
They're the ones who did the black and white game, Escape the Dark
Castle. Yeah.
And they did the Last of Us game also in the same aesthetic.
Yeah.
Which was in black and white.
All right.
So obviously CMON lost the license to them.
Yes.
One reason or another.
Seems like it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I think that's about it for the announcements. But the announcements started at 11, and I think they finished at about 11:40-ish or something. Yeah. And then we realized that you had an Art Nova competition.
At 11:30.
Yes, and that started at 11:30. So we kind of expected that no competition would start.
We thought this announcement would be like a keynote moment, right?
Yes. Like, everybody listen up. This is huge. Yeah. Stop what you're doing. But no.
They started 11:30 while the announcement was going on.
Because even during the announcement, you would sometimes hear people shout or whatever that had nothing to do with the announcement, and even them looking up like, what's going on over there, instead of, people focusing on what's going on the stage.
So I couldn't take part in the tournament.
Yeah.
Because they started 10 minutes before.
In the end, might be a blessing in disguise, because it would have taken a long time.
I'll still be playing.
Yeah,
but they did refund me my money, so it's fine.
Yeah. So an hour after that, less than an hour, like half an hour after that, I had to do my Cascadia tournament, and Randy Flynn himself was there to talk about it and help people somewhere if necessary, whatever, walking around. He's a really nice and friendly, just chill kind of guy, very laid back, and I think he was just enjoying every moment of it. Yeah. I've seen other designers this week that don't seem to be enjoying as much, if I'm being honest. I'm not going to say any names, but I saw them often with a face like, I don't know if I want to be here, but anyway. But he was definitely enjoying his just seeing people play his game and enjoying. But I think also part of it is Cascadia is so open to many people, so you just have a lot of normal people playing it, right? They even had a junior competition with all kids playing it. So I think that has to be nice if you see that. We're not going to talk too much about how well I did, because I didn't. I had to play, it was Swiss tournament, so 3 games, and then whoever has the best score, like for example 3, you get, I think it was like 6 points if you win, 4 points second place, 2 points, no sorry, yeah, 6, 4, 2, and 0. So 1, 2, 3, 4 placed. So my first game I was last. Then my second game with other people who were also last, I ended third. And then my last game, I ended second. So I should play again and play solo to make sure I finished my whole trip. But yeah, so obviously I was, I didn't make it to the next round, but that's okay because we were finally able to have lunch at like what, almost 4?
Yeah, 4.
Yeah, and where did we go again?
Wow, got a lot on to have with that.
Yeah, Taco Bell. We don't have Taco Bell in Hong Kong, and we were so impressed yesterday. It is really good. So many games.
For people who never had it before.
Yes, so many games, so little time. Sponsored by Taco Bell. Yes, enter the code and then
make it happen.
Make it happen, yeah. Especially on the toilet, apparently. But okay, so after that we went back and then we played some more games. Let's talk about Imperial Miners first, even though we finished with that. But yeah, so you played before.
Yes, and I
yesterday.
Want to play again.
Yeah,
and I really like it. And therefore we both bought it. That's something. Spoiler alert: we both bought it.
Yeah,
and I like it for its elegance.
Yeah.
What did you think?
Well, in the beginning, I was a little bit, because the thing is, they give you what, 8 cards in the beginning or 10 or whatever, 8, and you discard 2. But it's, if you've never played the game before, the cards are a lot to take in.
But what I do like about that is that you know your first turn, you have to play level 1.
Yes, that's true.
So you kind of focus just on those 2 cards.
But the level 1s, it also decides what good level 2s or 3s.
But it's still less of a choice.
Yeah. So to put it a little bit in context, Imperial Miners is you start at the top of the mine and you dig down. So to get a level 2 card, to place a level 2 card, you first have to place a level 1 card, and then after that you can do a level 2, and then 3, and then finally 4. And of course they're all comboing. So if you place a level 3 card, you activate that one, but also a level 2 card above it, a level 1 above it, and the surface one also. So it's a very combo-rific game. But what my point is, when you play the first time, it takes a bit to see the game for what it is and get good at it. But luckily, Gregor was there from Portal Games, who helped me a fair bit. I
still whipped him.
Yes,
just want to get out the way.
He did. He did.
What was your score in there? You didn't tell me.
50 something. I wrote it down. I can tell you later. Or I can tell you now. But while I'm looking it up, playing once and then playing the second, I got 45. You got 63. So playing the second time, how was your experience different this time?
It was about the same, but I just played better than last time. I was able to synergize my cards a lot better. But I just really like how smooth it is. And
it's a very positive game. Like there's 10 events, so 10 rounds. Every round there's an event, and all the events are positive.
Yes. Well, apparently, I think last. I can't remember. I think there was one take that card. No, that was mixing up with H and knowledge.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So
no, they're all positive. You're right.
Yes. So you don't really ever feel bad. You might feel bad if you're like, oh no, I didn't do this, I forgot this, or something like that. Or I don't have enough money to place this card. But it's just because of yourself. Then it's not the game throwing you a curveball or whatever.
So it would be so much easier to have these negative cards. Like everything costs 1 more now.
Yeah. So this one is all positive. Yeah. So I like that. I like the way you score points. The thing is also you have 3 tracks that you move up to, and you only score where you land. So even if you jump like 6 spots, only there, unless you have a specific card that allows you to pick up everything. But if you reach the top of that track, you get to do this special action, and then you go, special scoring action, and then you drop all the way down to the bottom, but you have to go to a different track. So there's always 3 tracks.
I like that there are 6 tracks, and you get to use 3 of them in the game, random 3.
Yeah.
So every game is different.
Yeah, exactly. And there's a lot of variety. And because I wasn't going to buy it, I'm going to be honest, I said, okay, let's play it. We have to do something. I haven't played it. Let's give it a go. And of course, I ended up buying it together with you.
And that was because it came with promos, like 6 promos.
Yes, that's also something that helps. And there's also supposed to be a solo mode, they said?
A solo scenario.
Solo
Solo mode, you just play against the game. and get a score, beat your score. But the scenarios give you constraints, which I like. I like solo scenarios.
Yeah. It works. And then the last one, I think, is something that I was talking about yesterday that I wanted to try, but we didn't have time then. And it was really like, you know what, we have time left. Why don't we go and do it now?
Yeah.
And we talked to this guy.
The designer.
Yes. It turns out he's a designer, but I didn't know. Because yesterday he was also asking to show us Pocket Paragons and so on, who he also designed, which I also didn't know. And he asked us if we wanted to play Space Lion yesterday, and I said we'll come back today, so we did. So we played Space Lion with us, and Space Lion was a game that was on GameFound. It didn't succeed then went to Kickstarter, and then had a second run as well, and got funded twice. Not a huge amount of backers, but you get funded. And I think publishing wise, they're still pretty small, so it's quite an achievement to get.
You got 20's game. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. And also, by the time that we tried Space Lion, all the copies there were sold out. They're all gone. So that means when people tried it, they bought it. So it's very impressive as well. Now about the game itself, it is a card battler. Think all two-player card battlers. You have 3 lanes, stuff like that. But this one can actually be played from 2 to 5. And if you play with 5, that's where the game gets interesting, because then you're not only fighting. You can choose to fight your left, your right neighbor, but also a base in the middle.
So like King of Tokyo.
Yes, to get or smash up, for example, as well. But you're not smashing the base, but you're fighting each other.
Yeah.
And there's also kind of like a turn order. So we only play 2-player, more about it in a second. But in multiplayer, you apparently naturally come to alliances, and then you stab people in the back. And there's only 4 rounds. And after those 4 rounds, the game ends depending on how many battles you won, how many medals you have. Okay. So, and the factions are all wildly different. What do you think of the 2-player mode?
I liked it. Yeah. I liked the asymmetry of the cards. I liked that each faction was really asymmetric. They felt very different. We only got to play the 2, but I really liked how different they were. Like your clan, they could move around. They were mobile across the 3 lanes, and you were able to create an event, a certain rule for the center line.
Yes, and my main hero card, whatever. Yeah. My special card, it was basically a walking city, so I could move. I could get in reinforcements. Yeah.
And I was a plant, so I was able to create these minions everywhere.
Yeah,
but I can't move.
Yeah.
So, but what I also really like it, your hand comes with basic 6 cards.
Yeah.
Right, 6 cards, and there are, besides that, another 6 upgrade cards that you choose one of them and you replace that. All the cards are numbered 0 to 6. Yeah. I'm assuming for their strength, and you can replace one number card with the upgraded version of the same number. So that's how they keep balance.
Yeah.
And that's really, really interesting. I thought that was really clever, because so firstly you can really get to know your deck. So every game you can know your deck, and you can know your opponent's deck if you play the same ones. But just by changing one card, you give the deck a little something different every game.
Yeah,
but you don't make the deck totally different that the person doesn't know how to play it.
Yeah.
So it keeps it recognizable, and keeps it that you know what you're doing, but it also changes the game.
It changes your tactics as well.
Yeah. I thought that was really clever.
For example, my city would allow me to bring people in, but then if I choose another card, suddenly my whole tactic changes.
Exactly.
And there's even a faction, because you asked him about his favorite faction, and he said that's a faction that has no special cards, but as you're playing, you're actually upgrading them on the fly.
So by the final round, you're very strong.
Yes, exactly. But you start off weaker, I guess.
Yeah.
And the fact is, he's made so many battler cards, so it shows that he knows how it flows.
And he seems very passionate about it too.
Yeah.
The thing I liked about it, again, only from experience with the 2 decks, I liked that every power was thematic. It made thematic sense.
Yeah, exactly. And the way, very quickly, the way the game works, you already said 0 to 6, but every card, there's only 3 things on the cards, basically. Well, 4. You have your number, which is the strength. And then you have a discard action. So on your turn, every turn you can discard a card if you want to. You don't have to, but it has a power, right? So you can do that. And then every round you have to play a card. So you either place it face down, and then you're going to reveal it when the battle phase happens, or you place it face up as a lead action, but it's most of the time it's a powerful action.
Well, yeah, but at the same time you're telling your opponent what strength you got down there.
Yes, exactly. So, and then you also have a battle action, but that only happens when the battle starts. So you're going to have a bunch of cards that are face down, flipped down. So on your turn, you either discard and you play, then it's the other person discard potentially.
I realized very similar to Marvel Snap.
Yeah, but that's what he said.
I wasn't missing that.
Yeah, he said if you played Marvel Snap or other stuff, then you're going to know this. You played Marvel Snap, right? Yeah, that's why I was surprised. I guess it got lost because of the noise.
Yes, I didn't hear that. But now that makes sense.
So it's really cool because we surprised each other a fair number of times. I shot myself in the foot a fair number of times. That's to do with myself. But I enjoyed it.
Oh yeah, who won again?
You did, yeah.
Oh yeah, sorry.
5-4. Yes, 5-4 at the end. Yeah. It wasn't a landslide by any means. But so the guy's name was Chris Solis. He's the one who designed it. And he also worked on the...
That's why it's got everything with the sun.
Yes, and then he also worked on the Exceed games, which for level 99. He had some other stuff.
What is Exceed game? Just card game?
No, there's also battlers, also on the line. Yeah, one versus one. Yeah, also more manga style. Pretty cool. Pretty old now. It's been a while since they came out, I think. Unless I'm just out of touch, but. And then he has a bunch of other games that you can check out on BGG.
The next game he's going to do in Kickstarter was a drafting game?
Yes, a drafting game. And it's number 2, but I forgot the name.
Yeah. You said...
Temporal something? Sorry, Chris. But, So just check out his name, you'll find it. Yeah. So, that was very cool. And that was... After that, we played Imperial Miners.
But great guy.
Yeah, great guy.
He was really passionate about his product. So that was awesome. It was contagious.
And the play mats from Pocket Paragon are really beautiful. The one from Space Line, was also really nice. But he's a graphic designer, so that makes sense. That's up to scratch. Then I think that's about everything that I wrote down for today. It's over now. It's the point where we cry.
I did play Barcelona.
Oh my god, I forgot to mention that.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Yes. But anything?
No, it's just another one that same medium heavy Euros from Board and Dice. Very pretty, very thematic. Well, the theme was you build in the networks in Barcelona. Because Barcelona has a very unique layout.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever been there.
Yeah.
Okay, so I haven't, but
okay.
So it just looks. It's very beautiful. So I think.
Well, could you compare it to anything? Does it feel like any game specifically? Who designed it again?
Danny Garcia.
Which
is the only other game hasn't come out yet. Which is that RBM?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
And that windmill game.
We saw a windmill game there, but it was just to show people, not to play.
And that's only come out in June.
Which is lame, Yeah. If you're gonna show it, then that is.
But Danny Garcia is one of the new hot designs coming out.
Yeah.
No, I think it was a good game. I enjoyed it.
Yeah. Okay, sorry I forgot about that.
I also won that game.
Yes. Poor people. When people play with you, it's All right, so I'm triple checking now, but that is definitely the end.
So, but next year?
Well, next year definitely coming back.
Yeah, I'm coming back.
And like I mentioned before, it gets bigger every year. They do need to do something. I think they've learned a lot from this year's as well.
Because if you watch videos from last year, it's a huge difference.
Yeah.
There were some YouTubers who went with their GoPros and stuff, and you can see it was a lot more low key.
Yeah.
So it was a huge, it was much different.
Cool.
So hopefully it'll be bigger next year too.
2 halls and 1 hall just for playing.
I'll go with that.
And then also a month from now, apparently there's another expo. Not CMON. Is it CMON?
It's CMON.
It's CMON in China.
Yeah, but that looks a lot smaller.
In Shenzhen, yeah. So I don't know if we're gonna go or not, but I have to wait and see about that. Okay, well we've reached the magic number of 30 minutes. There's 15 seconds to go, so it's good. I'm gonna get ready to catch my flights, and you're gonna leave tomorrow.
I'm leaving tomorrow afternoon. Yeah.
So, thank you everyone for watching. For listening, watching a black screen. And we'll see you next time.
Cheers.
Bye-bye.
Bye.